Hi, my name is Joel Gross, and I'm the CEO of CoalitionTechnologies.com, and I've been a long-time client of CallTask. Over the last 3 years, CallTask has helped grow my company into a multi-million-dollar business. I've actually had nearly 10,000 calls routed through CallTask. Right now, you're actually looking at my CallTask dashboard. The way the system works is it's entirely online. So let's say that a prospect or client of mine visits the homepage of my website, which is right here, and sees our phone number and decides to call us. That phone call will then be routed to a phone number of my choice, cell phone or landline. In the case of our homepage phone number, calls are actually rotated between my 4 salespeople. Let me show you this page. So this is the call mapping page. You can see right here, it's the CoalitionTechnologies.com 888-800-9101 phone number we just saw. Currently, this is directed directly to Jordan Brannon for the weekend, one of my account managers. But during the week, I can switch it over to rotate on every call, or hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, between my different salespeople. So for instance, if I have Hiren, Peter, and Megan checked, the first call will go to Hiren, second call to Peter, third call to Megan, the fourth call back to Hiren, fifth call back to Peter, and so on. That way it balances the calls evenly. I can also have this be on an hourly basis, daily, or weekly, and I can also schedule it to rotate on an every call basis based on different days of the week, as you can see with this system here. Some primary features of why I've used CallTask and been so happy with their system. The first is every single phone call that goes through the CallTask numbers is recorded in full. So, for example, this call, you can hear the recording. Just hit play, and you can instantly listen in and see any call. The instant a call is done, it's added into the system, and you can go and listen to it. And you can also rate it based on how well the salesperson handled that call. You can mark it as a training call if you wish, or you can mark it as listened if you want to know which calls you've listened to or haven't listened to. One of the absolute most important things about CallTask to me is I'm able to tell how many leads I'm getting from different lead sources. So I have 3 different websites: CoalitionTechnologies.com, ecommerce-shopping-carts.us, and lowcostwebdesignfirm.com, as well as my business cards and some mailers and papers that we send out like that. Each of these, you'll notice, has a different phone number at the top. Brainchild has 888-789-7269. E-commerce shopping carts has 888-744-9868. And our Coalition Technologies has 888-800-9101. Each of those is a CallTask number. So what that means is that when one of my clients calls that number, it directly routes them over to my salesperson and connects the client's phone to my salesperson's personal cell phone if he's at home, or his landline if he's at our office. Let me show you some other features about CallTask that I've really liked. If you look at the call details page, which if you clicked on any one of these calls right here, takes you to the call details page. And you can actually title your calls, and let's say that this is a Jordan Brannon phone call. I want to save this as, save it. I can also note who the user was who received the call. I can mark the lead source, and it's very easy to set up different lead sources. I can mark the user's rating over here. I can also mark a call as listened or a training. I can download this recording if I want to listen to it, say, on a laptop on an airplane. You can mark it as listened or training, or I can just listen to the call itself right here. Not only that, but I also get to see all the recent calls to and from this contact. So all the calls back and forth between these 2 numbers show up in a list here, and I can listen to those calls very easily or go to their call details page as well. I also have an easy way to just simply click the call and be connected to that person again, or click here and it sends them an email. I also can leave comments on this call. So if I want to give feedback to one of my salespeople, I can say, when you have a chance, come back and discuss the current status of this client with me, or I can say things like, wonderful job on the call with Jordan, like how you pointed out our 4 key sales points. Adding more comments is simple as just typing it in, clicking save, and it adds to the comment thread. When you have multiple people adding to comment thread, it highlights them in different ways, and you'll be able to see that whole conversation very, very nicely. Some other features with the system. I actually can have all of my employees in here, so every single one of them is set up with a call task phone number, and whenever we make calls, it goes through our system. It's recorded in full. We can come back and we can reference it later if needed. The settings here, you can see that here's where I set my live number. So this is my personal phone. This is actually the landline sitting right next to me, so that when people call my phone number, or when it's attached to me, it's going to direct to my landline. And I can direct any of my lead numbers, any of this number up here, or the number at the top of e-commerce shopping carts, or the number at the top of Brainchild, and I can have all of them or none of them point straight directly to my cell phone or to my landline, depending on where I'm located. We also have additional features such as different lead sources. I can add new lead sources in here if I like. So we can mark, and I can track how many leads come from different areas each week or each month, and I can see how our marketing work is performing, and actually have direct metrics, and I can track it back even to revenue to see where those clients initially came from. On this page, you can see all of our different call task numbers, and that's right here with the internet number. And you'll see down here that we have our coalitiontechnologies.com phone number on this line, and the 888-800-9101 number, and that's actually been set up to go directly to Jordan Brannon, as you saw on this page, which you can change and save depending on how you want it set up. Also, another feature is the contacts. You can add contacts into the system, and whenever that person calls you from their phone number, the system will recognize who that person is. It'll greet that person by name. It'll say, "Hello, Brian Biggers, we're now connecting you." And it'll connect them over to whichever phone number they decided to call. And it tracks all their information. You see the company name, email address, phone number. It makes it very easy to see how often a certain client is calling you, which numbers they're calling, all that sort of stuff. Furthermore, we have our advanced search feature. So let's say that I want to find a call. Now, I've had 10,000 calls, so it's easy to maybe have something get lost. So I can select any single user, or I can select all users. I can select the lead source, just if I want to see all the leads from a certain lead source. I could also search by contact name, by the phone number, by any comments in the comments text, or the call duration, and also by if it's listened, not listened to, or if it's training or not training. Let's just say that I want to listen to the calls that have come to me in the last month. If I click on search, you'll see all the phone calls that have come to me in the last month here. You see that they're all directed here to Joel Gross, or you can see some of the calls I made, the call myself over here, and the calls where I received the call. And you can also see which number it went through. So they all went through my cell number rather than like one of our website lead phone numbers. But I've been extremely pleased with CallTask. I highly recommend this system to any business that is based on leads and that needs to track your phone calls. It needs to have recordings of your phone calls. All of them appear in this system. It's very easy to manage, very easy to find calls, very easy to add details to calls, very easy to rate calls, and it makes it awesome to train your new employees, because I basically just have my new employees come in and search by training calls and just go straight down the list and listen to all the training calls that we have available for them. Training calls are usually either well-rated calls or poorly rated calls, and we'll have some details in the comment section on why the call went well or why the call did not go so well. But yeah, so that's the CallTask system. I found it to be a very excellent system, and I strongly suggest that you consider it further yourself.